I had a little incident happen to me this evening, and I thought, this is a really good learning experience, so I'm going to show it to you. Here's my typical job folder, and when I make animations like, After Effects animations, they always go in the anim folder, and the stuff that I render goes into the anim renders. Now, this is an interesting project because it started off, we were calling it Formula One, and they decided to change the theme to Tour de France, so there's multiple names here, and it gets funnier in here. Now, I always have a folder called zzOLD. Now, I have one in my anim folder. I have one in my anim renders folder. The idea being only the stuff that I really need current needs to be here. Like, for example, all of this stuff can go in there. So that's the only thing I really need to look at right now because I have a version 13 that's ready to render. Another place I use zzOLD is in my edit folder. Okay, so here's the one that I care about, and here's all my old versions. Now, the way I date this, now, a lot of applications have autosave vaults, like Final Cut does, and After Effects does, but I don't know where to turn it on and off, so on some machines it doesn't, and some machines it does, and some it doesn't. At any rate, I like to stamp my quote unquote autosave because it's not an autosave. I do it myself. And anytime I make a substantive change on a project, I will save a version of it. Or if I open it up for the first time of the day. So it is currently, let's go over here, 8:42 p.m. So we'll call that 8:30. That's close enough. I'm not that crazy. So what I do is I take my project here and I duplicate it. And then I take the word copy and I delete that. And I will time and date stamp it, year, month, day. So today is 12/08, too many O's, 08/17, and then we'll call it 8:30, which is 2030 because everything is, it files better when you do it with military time. And I take that guy and I stick it down there. Okay, all good, safe. I now want to take my project and I will open it. Now this project is it's a very complicated opening sequence, and then I wanted to tear apart parts of it and use it for B-roll. Okay, so I have a master comp, and then I have my 7 B-roll clips. And I opened it up this evening, and I went, okay, let's see what this is. Oh, crap. Where's my master comp? I have my 7 B-rolls, but I don't have my master comp. So that freaked me out. Now, I may have put it in zzOLD, but it's not here. Okay, bad. Did I accidentally drop it in the pre's? It's not here. Look, there's another zzOLD. Okay, that's bad. Now, let me show you what I was doing so you understand what I did. If I go into, say, my zzOLD and I open up one of the old ones, you can see the composition. It's got a lot of pieces, and I'm not showing you the actual video necessarily. I just want to show you how it works. So basically, there's a bunch of stuff happening, and then there's all these subcomps that come peeling in. And what I wanted to do is I wanted to take one subcomp at a time and make it a standalone clip. So basically what I was doing is I was taking this thing, let's put it out here. Actually, let's duplicate it. Let's put it out here. Okay, now it should have been 13. Now I'm not going to save this project, so it's all okay here. So this is what it should have looked like when I opened it up. There should have been a version 13 and then my things. So what I was doing is I was taking this thing and I was duplicating it. And then I was calling it, I'm going to select on this, I'm going to hit the return key so I can copy all this. And then I was coming up here, whoops, and I was hitting paste, and then I was versioning this up a version, so that'd be 8. And then what I would do is I'd open that up and I'd say, okay, I don't need all of these layers. I really only want this layer, and I want this up here. And then I'd open up this camera controller thing, and I'd delete all these keyframes. And so it was this whole process I was doing so I could take out these individual shots and make them standalone elements. Again, it doesn't really matter. So that's what I was doing, but this is what I accidentally did. Instead of duplicating this and calling it version 8. Okay, I'm going to delete this one. This is what I accidentally did. I took the master comp, I called it version 8, and all of a sudden I killed it. It's gone because then I went in here and I deleted a bunch of stuff. So I killed my master composition. Very bad. I'm not going to quit After Effects. I'm not going to save it. I'm going to show you how I solve the problem. So I'm paranoid. Before I open a project, I make a zzOLD. I know that back at about 6 o'clock tonight was when I started making these B-roll things. So if I look back in my zzOLD, and that was what I called earlier a substantive change. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that word wrong. A substantial change. So I was like, I'm paranoid. I'm going to make a copy. So if I go back to today's date at 6 o'clock p.m. and I were to open that one, so let's open it, and I open that one, that should still have my version 13, which I was waiting to the end of the day to render, and see, there it is. Now, I had only done 5 of my B-rolls, and I know that there's 7, but frankly, I'm okay with that because they're basically done. Now, I can still go back and get those, but this is the main thing I want. Now, if you saw there was a bunch of missing media, and I'm going to explain that here. So I'm going to quit After Effects, and now let's solve the problem. So this is the one I want. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this guy. This is the current, what I thought was going to be the current one, and I'm going to call this one 120817. And because I always do these at round numbers, I'm going to call this 2031. And I'm going to say all B-roll. We'll just do that. And I'm going to take that and put it down there. Then I'm going to take my 6 p.m. and I'm going to duplicate that. Then I'm going to bring that copy, which is here, out to the root of my animation folder. Again, this is all kind of sort of data forensics, stuff that you don't ever want to have to do, but you want to be able to do. So I'm going to delete all of the date stuff because on the master one that I always launch, I don't need to know the date. It's current. So now when I launch this guy, this will have my version 13 of my master comp. It'll have most of the B-roll, but I'm okay with that because I can always go to the other one. Because what I don't want to lose is my master comp. And there's my version 13. And if I double click on this guy, I can see the way it's all built out. And because I'm very intimate with this, I've spent a lot of time in here, it's right. So that's my zzOLD trick that some of you know, and I hope more of you practice. So that kind of saved my hide tonight. Later.